the Hollywood Unapologetic Podcast with Orlando Delbert, Filmmaking Essentials. This is, well, really for all of you in the new Hollywood generation, you filmmakers, content creators, the ones out there trying to make your mark.
Yeah, absolutely.
What it really takes to navigate Hollywood. We're talking selling your film, but, without losing yourself in the process.
That's selling your soul part.
Exactly. And why thinking about distribution right from the start is, frankly, a game changer. Plus, how to spot those pitfalls, the traps that are out there.
It's crucial stuff. We've looked at insights from filmmakers who've been there, done that, distribution case studies, even some legal perspectives.
And tapped into what the filmmaking community is saying.
Yeah.
The goal is a full picture. So let's start with maybe the biggest hurdle, the reality of just breaking in.
It really is. And having realistic expectations is key. We saw this Reddit discussion recently, and the feeling was pretty clear. Getting the script right, building connections, getting that clout.
That clout.
It normally takes a while. It's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And that's not even mentioning the current industry slowdown affecting everyone, even the pros.
That thread also hit on something vital, just getting experience. On set. Any set, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because let's be real, the idea of a major studio just handing over a feature film to someone with zero directing experience?
Yeah, the chances are practically zero. It sounds harsh, but it's about managing huge financial risk for them. They need proof you can actually deliver.
So how do you get that proof? How does this new Hollywood generation build that experience?
Well, the same discussion had some good points. Like, if you travel, don't just take photos. Think like a filmmaker.
Use your phone, even.
Use your phone, a basic camera, whatever. Learn to frame a shot, learn basic editing, color grading, build that visual language piece by piece.
It's about creating a portfolio.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe not just traditional shorts. I saw a mention of being a fixer.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, especially for people with travel experience, maybe language skills. Productions often need local help, someone who knows the area.
So you get on set, see how things work, make contacts.
Exactly. But it's demanding, and let's be honest, making a steady living just from filmmaking.
Yeah.
Unless you're maybe in a solid union gig like a grip, consistently working, that's tough.
It's really telling, though. We heard about a producer, someone with an Apple TV series, a short that got millions of views.
Right. Significant credits.
And still feeling like they're trying to break into the business when aiming for directing gigs.
It really highlights that breaking in isn't like a one-time finish line you cross. It's this continuous process, kind of leveling up, always seeking that next opportunity.
Okay, so you're navigating that, you're building experience. Then comes the moment you actually have a film.
Yeah.
How do you sell it without, well, that feeling of selling your soul?
Yeah, what does that even mean?
For us, I think it boils down to keeping creative control over what truly matters to you and getting, fair compensation.
Absolutely. And understanding the film finance waterfall is so important here. It sounds complicated, but think of it as a pecking order for getting paid.
Okay.
When money comes in from your film, first the buyers who licensed it get their fees covered, then senior debt investors, gap finance, equity investors.
And where do we fit in? The filmmakers.
You, the filmmaker, cast, crew, the participants, you're further down that line. You only see back-end profit if everyone above you gets paid back first according to their agreements.
Wow. Okay, so knowing that hierarchy is critical when negotiating.
Totally. And it ties into understanding the difference between, say, a minimum guarantee in MG and a simple license fee.
Explain that a bit.
Well, an MG gives you some money up front, but potentially more later if the film earns back the distributor's costs and makes profit. A license fee is usually just a flat, one-time payment for the rights.
So very different potential outcomes for your earnings long term.
Hugely different. And beyond the money, there's the whole ethical side. Building trust, acting with integrity, it matters.
Yeah, it has to. Especially when you get those distribution deals put in front of you. You need to know what to look for, the red flags.
For sure. Things like, are the contract terms ridiculously long, tying up your film for like 7, 10, 15 years?
Ooh.
And scrutinizing the distribution expenses. What exactly are they deducting before you see a dime? You need transparency there. Resources like the Mary Law blog often flag these kinds of issues.
This really speaks to the value of transparency in the indie community, doesn't it? Sharing the real stories.
Oh, massively. That book, Selling Your Film Without Selling Your Soul, really champions that. They argue for filmmakers sharing processes, numbers, failures, successes.
To build a smarter, more empowered creative class.
Exactly. They even try to name names and cite figures, where NDAs allow, just to pull back the curtain a bit.
And sometimes that means challenging the whole traditional system, right?
Yeah.
Like that Bass Ackroot's case study.
Yeah, that was fascinating. They used Sundance, a huge festival, not primarily to sell the film in the traditional way, but as a massive publicity launchpad.
To go direct to audience.
Pretty much. They did a super quick digital release on iTunes and Amazon VOD during the festival, kind of subverting the usual sales frenzy.
Bold move.
Yeah.
But that DIY approach, it's not easy, right? I heard the marketing costs were huge for them.
Oh, yeah. Reportedly, something like half their production budget just for that Sundance marketing push. It shows the immense effort and cost involved if you handle distribution yourself.
They managed a hybrid theatrical release too, though, right?
Yeah.
Even without typical distribution money.
They did, relying heavily on those digital platforms and DVD sales back then. It shows it can be done, but it's a heavy lift.
Which brings us to something really critical for the new Hollywood generation.
Yeah.
Thinking about distribution way, way earlier.
Yes, not after the film is locked, but during development. It has to be part of the initial strategy.
Because knowing your audience is everything. Who is this film for? How will you reach them?
Exactly. As the Film Collaborative points out, distributors love projects with a built-in audience. So you, as the filmmaker, should be thinking about building that community from day one. Social media, email lists, whatever works.
Don't expect some big studio marketing department to magically appear for your indie film.
Right. And know that distributors aren't all the same. Some handle huge blockbusters, others specialize in docs or horror or specific niche markets.
So you need to find the ones who actually get your kind of film, who've sold similar things successfully.
Do your research. IMDb Pro is your friend there. Look at their past catalogs.
Okay, so what are the main pathways? Festivals, obviously.
Yeah, festivals are huge. Showcase the film, get reviews, win awards, hopefully, attract distributors, local, niche, maybe even a major player.
Then there's TV.
TV broadcast,
Yeah.
often needs a sales agent. Can be lucrative, but watch out for long exclusivity clauses. Sometimes territorial deals work, letting you do VOD elsewhere.
And Voodoo Diva on demand. The big streamers.
Netflix, Hulu, those guys, usually requires going through an agent or an aggregator, often territorial deals again, but you can also apply directly to platforms like Amazon Prime Video, iTunes.
And there are newer platforms popping up too, right? Like pre-screen?
Yeah, models like Prescreen aim to connect filmmakers more directly with viewers, maybe help discover your audience demographics, potentially without upfront costs for the filmmaker. It's an evolving space.
It's interesting too how that selling your film book suggests rethinking film rights entirely.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Instead of just TV, home video, digital, ESER, they propose thinking about it as like live event theatrical, merchandise, and digital.
Interesting. Focusing on the experience, not just the delivery method.
Exactly. The idea that the communal experience matters wherever it happens. It opens up different ways to think about release and revenue.
Definitely food for thought.
Yeah.
But alongside these opportunities, we have to talk about the less savory side, the bad actors.
People looking to prey on filmmakers, especially new ones.
Unfortunately, yes. So due diligence is absolutely critical. Research potential distributors, research investors thoroughly.
Check their IMDb Pro credits, look for news on deals they've done for similar films recently. Don't just take their word for it.
And on investors, Guerrilla Rep Media had some sharp advice. Remember, people with money have lots of investment options. Film is high risk.
So you need to be realistic.
Yeah.
And maybe strategic about where you look for funding.
Yeah, they suggest looking at industries driving the local economy, but also be careful about soliciting investment too early. There are legal rules around that.
Good point. And when you're looking at case studies, trying to learn from others.
The Film Collaborative warns about separating one-off stories, anecdotes from actual best practices. Look for the patterns, the common threads and experiences.
Learn from failures as much as successes.
Absolutely. And be aware that sometimes a filmmaker's own telling of their story might be, well, colored by maybe unrealistic expectations they had going in, or they might not have the full picture themselves.
It all comes back to protecting yourself, doesn't it? Legally.
100%. Solid contracts, copyright protection nailed down in every territory you plan to distribute in. Reliable ways to track and collect the money owed to you.
And be crystal clear in agreements about sublicensing. Can your distributor just hand off rights to someone else?
You need to know and agree to that explicitly. Your intellectual property, your IP is everything. Guard it.
Okay, so wrapping this up for the new Hollywood generation listening. It's a challenging path, breaking in, no doubt.
But not impossible. It takes persistence, strategy.
Selling your film ethically means knowing the finances, holding on to your vision, and demanding transparency.
And thinking about distribution isn't the final step. It's woven in right from the start. Development stage.
Then finally, stay vigilant. Do your homework. Get legal protection. Learn from others to navigate the industry safely.
That's the core of it, I think.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. We see distribution changing, digital platforms rising, direct-to-audience models becoming more real. How can you, the new Hollywood generation, use these shifts? How can you leverage them to build sustainable careers that fulfill you creatively, while maybe even helping shape a fairer, more innovative future for independent film? Lots to think about.
You can find more insights on navigating the entertainment industry and achieving success in Orlando Delbert's work, including his book, Pollyanna's Tear-Soaked Battlefields of Hollywood, a survival guide against the cynicism and the hypocritical, and of course, the Hollywood Unapologetic platform. And always remember, you are the key to your own success. You are the new Hollywood generation.
Be informed, be prepared, and most importantly, be great.
That's it. Be great. Good luck out there.
See you next time.